Don't wait till the battle's over. Don't wait till the struggle ends. Shout out, shout out, right now. Shout out, shout out. Don't wait till you make it.
Hey everyone, it's Philip. I'm so glad that you could join us today. Grab your coffee. Listen, I'm not going to tell you about my coffee today because I don't know what it is, but that's all right. If you don't know, it is June, and the PHILLIP Show has partnered with Yellow Springs Pride to present inspiring stories from within and surrounding the LGBTQ plus community for transparency, for authenticity, for education, advocacy, to dispel myths, and just to give a little bit more story to some faces that you may see in the hope that, or in the hope of, bringing more unity and more understanding. Generally, there's hate and there's animosity and there's all of these things generally surrounding things we do not know. So hopefully this will be an opportunity for people to learn about other people's way of life, who other people are, and a better way for all of us to walk along this journey called life together, right? So today I'm super excited to have an awesome person here for the PHILLIP Show and for you to learn about the amazing things that they're doing. And I'm going to read this bio because I'm just so you know, my eyes are down here now. All right. So Asa Leveaux. Asa Leveaux is America's #1 EntreQUEERNeur coach and host of the EntreQUEERNeur show with Asa Leveaux. He's creator of the Oklahoma Black Business Expo, executive producer of the first LGBTQ web series in Oklahoma, Scandalous Tales, and founder of the Genius Academy, founder of the Queer School, and creator of Single Con. He has developed the business and philanthropic acumen that brings a high level of clarity, creativity, and accountability to any dream and vision. He says, and I quote, "As a person that identifies as queer, I understand what it means to witness people that don't recognize my value. However, through being crystal clear, I now enjoy being saturated with people that don't just tolerate me, but celebrate me continuously." So please join me in welcoming America's #1 EntreQUEERNeur and author, and we're going to get into this, author of a memoir called Black and Queer, There's More Than Sugar in My Tank. Please welcome Asa Leveaux. Asa.
Hello there. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm really good. I am, there's nothing that is bad in my world. It's
that
all
is
good.
Amazing. Well, that's good to hear because you know a lot of people can't say that, but that's nice that that's your testimony.
Well, we all could say it, and we all could have it. Yeah. I will say that it really is a possibility.
Yeah, and it definitely is looking at perspective. You know, just because we see things as not bad doesn't mean that there are still things to go through. But my perspective is, hey, it's still great.
It really is.
That is awesome. So listen, let's just jump in. Give us a little bit. We're going to talk about your business and, of course, your new book and everything that you're doing. But I want to get into who you are because I think that's going to help us appreciate the who that we see today. How did you start your whole journey? It's a lot.
I know
that's a whole question. Yeah.
So which journey? The entrepreneurial journey or the queer journey?
Okay, so let's break it down for the people in the back, and for people in the back, I mean including me. So you have branded yourself as the label queer in your business, in the business world, right? So we know that you got to that point, and we'll get to that. When you were younger, how did you decide or determine who you were? And what was that journey like to say, okay, I think I understand who I am now, and now I'm ready to move forward, even to the point where I'm going to identify myself like that in the business world? So
please know that I am a late bloomer.
Okay.
In all things. No. All things.
Not all things.
No. All things.
Direct.
And so because of that lateness, because that's perspective as well, my reality and my definition and my alignment with my queerness was not something that happened early on for me, because it just was not a part of my knowing. So for instance, it would be the same way sometimes people that are gender fluid, they didn't know they were gender fluid until they're 30, because they were just like, wow, you could change genders, like you can tap into something that you had to repress for all of your life, and you can just be that. And then they get to just be that because they like giving themselves permission, and combined with a knowingness that it's available. And so queerness was not available to me.
Okay.
At all. When you grow up in Oklahoma in the 80s as a Kojic kid, a Memphis going, Bible drill thumping, UNAC attending, king and queen of the chair on a Sunday night experiencing Kojic kid. No.
You better break it down.
That's not possible. And so my journey however, my demeanor has always been a little bit sweeter than other little boys. I will say that. Okay. And I've always been, my nature is soft-spoken or desiring really not to talk. That's my nature. My mother said when I was 3, and ladies in the church would be like, oh my God, look at little Asa, he's so cute. And she said, Asa, you would just look at them like, who are you talking to? Why are you talking to me? Why are you in my space? I didn't ask for you. I didn't send for you. Please move. And I was doing that at 2 and 3. And so, yeah, I've just been away, like shut in the corner. However, and then eventually it came a little bit softer. And so my experience was, I just want to be left alone, but I want to be left alone in a very nice way. Like, I'm not going to go off on anyone. Like, I'm cool with me and my book, like me and my Sherlock Holmes book, or me and my little, what's it called? A spirograph little kit. Like, I just want to be in like, that's all I want.
They still do those.
Well, I don't know if they still do those. That was hot. It was hot in 87. So that's all I wanted. And so, but I knew I was quote unquote sweeter, because there's a experience that I talk about, being in church, and it was a night service, and I'm the eldest of 5 kids, and my little brother, who is 3 years younger than I am, he is very rambunctious. He is still, at 33 years old, he is rambunctious. Like, he's in all the things. And so he was doing his thing, crawling all on the floor, being in everybody's lap, asking for candy. And the preacher looked down from the pulpit, looked at him, then looked at me, and then pointed back at him from the pulpit in the middle of service and said, now that's a boy.
What?
That's a boy. So I've been knowing that something is off about me that everybody else is able to see, but no one will talk to me about. I don't know what this otherness is about me, but either y'all are afraid of this otherness, or I'm not supposed to be this otherness, but I'm definitely otherness. But no one will tell me what it is. And then, of course, with the the real life reputation of Kojic men, I was definitely liked by other little boys in church, or other little boys when we would go to regional conventions, state conventions, national conventions. I definitely had many a time some little girl would walk up on me, you know, so-and-so, they think you're cute. And I'd just be like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know, because I was never mean to any of them. I just like, I don't know what to do with that. Like, okay, that's cool. Because I mean, I thought kisses were gross for a very long time.
Wow.
Yeah, the first girl that kissed me, I was like, why would you do that? Why would you put your lips on my lips? Like, that's nasty. I don't care who did it. That's nasty. Even I was in ninth grade, and a girl made out with me, and I'm just like, so here's the thing. I don't think I like that.
Flabbergasted. Yeah.
I don't want to do that anymore. No.
Oh.
So I just no. So that my experience has been a consistent unfolding, a blossoming of sorts until I finally did come out, which was in 2016. Yeah.
So after you came out, or after you decided to live authentically, let me say that, how did you go from that to kind of full just jump in the river and be like, okay, now this is who I am, and this is going to be my branding for the rest. This is who I am.
So no idea who I was. Then I meet some fine man, like I might be
security.
Like I think I might be, and then and then going from that to being okay, I'm all in. The journey to that looks like being purposefully and strategically ignored by people who said they loved and valued me. So my response to people who devalue my existence or look through my existence has always been, if you're gonna do this, like, I'll do this. Like, you're not fooling with me anyway, so why wouldn't I just go all in to whatever I really want to pursue? And the last straw that happened was working as a entrepreneurial coach, giving someone their real life, like giving them the real deal. Like, this is what needs to happen. This is how you can make things different. These are the action steps, not just motivation and inspiration or frustration. These are the action steps to take to make a difference in your world sooner rather than later. And me doing that, serving them liking it, them seeing the benefit of it, and then them telling me I'm not going to be able to do a testimonial for you because then my church friends would know I'm working with you.
So they want to get the value from you, but they don't want to say that you represented them in this journey with them.
So my thing was, it wasn't that I was in the closet. It's that people that were coming to me were in the closet about me.
Got you.
And that felt horrible, because, and the reason why I took it so significantly is because in my queer life experience, I have not had a lot of real deep connections with quote unquote DL dudes. I have not, I just haven't, thankfully, because I have seen friends go through that struggle, and that's not a testimony I desire to have. Thank the Lord for blessing me out of that testimony.
Wow.
Because that's real. However, I was having DL clients, not DL lovers. And that made a difference for me. And I was like, you know what? Here's the thing. If you book a call with me and I tell people you booked a call with me, guess what? Everybody knows. Like, it's just on day one, this is just how it is. Let me just brand myself this way. And then the other part was I went to a conference or did something, and the question was really simple. What clients bring you the most joy? And of course, when you first think about that, you're like, oh, my clients bring me joy.
That's not good.
Look,
Look, like,
them clients are not your kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I started to think, I was like, I really have a good time when they're queer. But then I was like, wait a minute, that's weird. Why would I do that? So I questioned myself, and the answer was then, because I get to talk about me. I get to talk about all things that I like. So if I want to make something really, really descriptive, and so I want to say, you know what? Your sales page needs to hook them like this on poppers. They know what that means.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
They know what that means. And so I like things that I like being able to articulate different parts of who I am in a business conversation to make the business reality that much more real for them. And I can do that with pre-identified people easier than I've been able to do that with allies or non-allies.
It seems like there would be a transparency that would make it a lot easier. Like you just mentioned, like communication would be easier because there's that commonality. Like mannerisms would be understood, and there wouldn't be that level of apprehension. Just like, okay, how are they feeling about this? Because it's just all out in the open and you, like you said, if somebody books you, they already know now, clearly now who you are because you have your personhood and your title.
Exactly. And then also with working with pre-identified people, they know up front that just because you're having a conversation with me does not mean I'm inherently attracted to you.
Is that a big deal? Do you find that to be some sort of like communication noise? It's like, hey, he talked to me, so I think he likes me, or it kind of goes from professional to personal.
Yes, so that because number one, I like because number one, I have never in my beginning entrepreneurial world and being connected to who I was connected with in different spaces. I saw that there was this dissonance between entrepreneurial and sexual. Like you couldn't be entrepreneurial and sexual. I'm like, no, because sex would probably make your sales better. Oh. They're definitely linked. And I have prescribed sex as a coach. I'm like, you haven't got none, and your bank account proves it.
Oh, okay. Now in that, do you find that sometimes it's hard to work or hard to keep professionalism, I guess, if you will, because then sometimes the agenda or the motivation no, not so much. Yeah, no.
Well, here's the thing. Professionalism can sometimes be a judgment based on ideas or perceptions of decorum.
Okay, got it.
So I have learned that the way I do things is just going to be different.
Okay.
So, for instance, I cuss often and well.
Not well.
And I mean,
I wasn't ready for that. I was not.
Like I'm fluent. I'm very fluent in profanity. Like if it's on the ACT, like I promise you, I'm gonna kill it. So I stopped trying to be professional in my business. And this is before, please know that this is before I knew anything about a Gary Vaynerchuk, who I love and adore. I love the way he is, but before I knew he was a person, I was giving, through my agency, I have a training and development agency that does corporate trainings called Genius Academy, which is not linked to my coaching profession, which is called the Queer Money Game. So those are different and separate. However, during Genius Academy, I'm working at T-Mobile. I literally had to tell the operations manager before she hired me, so here's the thing, you may not want to hire me. And she's like, why would you say that? I said, like I said, I cuss often and well. She's like, well, here's the thing. Because of that, you would work out better.
Wow.
I said, how would I work out better? She says, you know how Apple does the big reveals and it's all on TV and it's broadcast? I said, yes. She said, well, T-Mobile does the same things, same type of events. They're huge. However, we are not allowed to broadcast them in the store because there's so many F-bombs that are dropped. I was like, oh, so you're my people. Okay, so I now know that I can come to this session and what I'm in. Like, I wear skinny jeans, V-necks, Chucks, and blazers. That's my go-to look. And guess what? They love me in my Chucks, my V-necks, my skinny jeans, and my blazers, and my F-bombs, doing a training to all of the store managers in the state.
Wow.
It's about being authentic to who you are.
Yes.
And understanding that professionalism really sometimes is a judgment to put you in a box that you don't fit in.
That's really good. That's really good. I love the authenticity of it all, and I like the encouragement of that particular part of your story to just be you. You know what I'm just be yourself. And I love that. Okay, so let's fast forward. You're working with all of these clients, all of these people. You're able to be authentic. You're having all these coachings, and entrepreneurs are getting feedback from you. And you write a book. I don't know where the time comes from, but I don't even know. I have a hard time even fitting coffee in sometimes, and you are far busier than me. So tell us about your book, Black and Queer. There's more than sugar in my tank. Tell us about it.
Okay, got it. So this is book number 6 for me. And this is my very
all over again. Number 6, all over again. Go ahead.
Yeah, book number 6 is my first memoir, though. And there are 2 reasons why I decided to write the book. Number 1, every book that I've written in the past has been essentially a self-help book. And though, yes, I can talk about specific stories to bring a point home, I feel like if you were to look at the work in which I put out and do your best to get a good understanding of who I am as a being, could you do it? And the fact is, you can't. You just can't. You have no idea who I am, how I am, or why I am. And then, if that's the case, imagine a world where I no longer exist and I have grandchildren or great grandchildren, or even great grand aunt, grand nephews and grand nieces, and they're thinking about this person named Asa Leveaux that once existed that I'm connected to. What was he like? Because people have a lot of opinions about him. And I believe in, the notion of his story. Like, what is my story? And I desire to make that mine. For the last 10 years, I've been very particular about curating my narrative, making sure that what I want about myself is what's seen. I'm very particular about that. And that's one reason. And then the other reason was because, growing up like I did, you heard that term. And I still hear that term or read it on comments. Girl, he got a little sugar in his tank. You better be careful. That little dismissive, nice and nasty way of suggesting that someone may be of a queer identity. And it felt so wrong when it's said, because it's not meant to be a nice, pleasant thing about someone. And so my thing is, how could I own the sugar in my tank? Like, you don't get to own it anymore. I'm owning it. Because it's just like with coming out in the religious African-American experience, it has been that everybody cares about your sexuality until you make it known, and then everybody wants to put your sexuality in a box. I'm like, it wasn't a box when you was talking about my sexuality at Piccadilly's and at Golden Corral. You wasn't
at Piccadilly.
Y'all had a whole usher board meeting about my sexuality. But the moment I own my Now all of a sudden I'm doing too much. Oh, like, oh, now I'm doing too much. But y'all wasn't doing too much when y'all were sitting people down, kicking people out, praying the devil out of folks who were queer identified. But that wasn't doing too much. So now I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take it. But my thing is it's not just that we have sugar in our tanks, which is a good thing. There's a sweetness about us. There's a whole sweetness that somehow we wanted to deny or wanted to separate our beautiful selves from. Like, that sweetness is a miraculous thing to still be this sweet after all the violence that we've experienced.
That's a good
That's
point.
a miracle within itself. However, there's more than that sweetness that I possess. There's so much more there. So that's the notion or the reasoning behind the book. And I do go into some very deep things.
Okay. What are you, for your book, besides getting to know another facet of you, more about you, and hearing it authentically from you, what are you hoping for the reader to get besides knowledge of you?
I think about my reader being a little Black, queer human in the middle of somewhere. And they don't have a lot of gay aunts, gay uncles, or even gay elders that they're even aware of. But they just want to know that somebody could have an experience that's not entertainment field in order to survive. So I talk about how, though I adore the very earth that Laverne Cox, Janet Mock, Billy Porter, Little Nas X, all these wonderful humans walk on, I adore them. And the reality is, though their stories, of course, did not look like where they are today, of course not.
Sure.
But they are entertainers. And there's a type of bubble that when you finally do reach a level of success that you can fit inside of as an entertainer. And for the rest of the world, whether as entrepreneurs or sanitation workers or people that drive for Uber, there's no bubble for you. There's no bubble. So what types of things could someone that's not in a particular bubble be going through that you may experience or that you could keep from experiencing as a result of reading the book? So hopefully you don't have to be as much of a sex-addicted, meth-using person as I was.
Wow. Wow.
Yep.
I mean, that's hearing I guess hearing your story and seeing the components that mirror some of the readers, and some of the journeys that they're taking, it's encouraging and uplifting to say, wow, if he can pull himself out, so can I. And I love when I hear stories that do that, because it's almost like you're a coach in a book, and and then you can just pull your, all of that inspiration and like, oh, I can too. So that's really
I like that you said the coach in a book, because I found myself, even though it's my story, I still found myself saying self-help things. Like seriously, like it's just me. Like that's just me now. And I get it. And so the last chapter, because every chapter is based on another component of what's in the tank. So yes, there's sugar in the tank, but what else is there? So there's history in the tank, tears in the tank, money in the tank, forgiveness in the tank. And the last chapter is divinity. There is divinity in the tank. And that is where I get to really talk about how I see us. Like I see us being, and how you can take steps to articulating that better for yourself.
Wow. Well, I look forward to reading it. I'm gonna have to read it.
I hope so.
Yeah, I know, right?
At least a portion of it.
I know. Okay, at least the back cover. Well, Asa, thank you so much for taking time out to sit and chat with us and give us kind of like the backstory, because we can so often look at people's success and all the notoriety and not put the journey with the success. And it's so encouraging to hear you be so authentic and transparent. And it makes us appreciate your existence today and your accomplishments today even more, knowing from whence, knowing from where you came.
Thank you. And just so you know, the way I view it now is I believe that if you still have the breath and the strength to be on the journey, that is success. Wow.
If you still have the strength and the breath to be on the journey, that is success. That's a big old nugget right there. I'm gonna have to sit on that one. Well, thank you so much for being here, and hopefully we can do this again, because you clearly have so much more to share.
I do.
Yeah. Oh my God, thanks, Asa. You guys, that was amazing, and I hope that you guys were inspired. You all were inspired, and if you can, go out and get the book, Black and Queer, There's More Than Sugar in My Tank by Asa Leveaux. It's all about inspiration. It's all about being transparent. It's about authenticness. Absolutely be yourself. One of the biggest takeaways that and encouragements that I got from today is there is success, there is future, there is happy in your journey, and you can do it all while remaining who you are. So remember, you are the best you in the world, and we will see you later here on the PHILLIP Show.
Don't